Delhi turned into a boringly familiar war zone today. A Trinamool Congress special. Mamata Banerjee's celebrity MPs hit the streets screaming blue murder after the Enforcement Directorate raided the home of her chief political consultant in Kolkata over suspected illegal money transactions linked to the party. Mamata did what Mamata does best, roared that she was under attack, projected strength through her Delhi Neta brigade. Placards came out on cue, so did the ever-reliable Delhi police, obliging everyone with the perfect protest photo ops as these MPs, one after the other, were dutifully dragged away, giving them a chance to play victim pro max. But beneath the noise and fury is something far more serious. The Enforcement Directorate claims Mamata Banerjee personally removed documents from the raid site in Kolkata yesterday. That is a staggering allegation despite the political tutu-meme. Mamata's counter is equally explosive, that the ED, she says, is being used by the BJP to spy on her election office and material to build a list of people to be squeezed into submission. As this degenerates into yet another street fight and a predictable he said, she said between the BJP and the Trinamool, the real question remains unanswered. Are we watching Didi's dirty dealings being exposed, or the BJP's dirty tricks department at work?
You're seeing what is happening to MPs. All our MPs have been picked up. Stop! Jamuna! No! ममता बनर्जी और अभिषेक बनर्जी के सोल्जर हैं।
The entire action of the Chief Minister is not only unethical, irresponsible, unconstitutional, but she has put the entire democratic process and governance to shame.
তুমি সমস্ত ডেটা আমার অফিস থেকে চুরি করছিলে, যে অফিস আইপ্যাককে আমরা অথরাইজ করেছি। তোমরা তো 6টা থেকে ঢুকেছো, আমি তো গেছি 11:45-এ। 5.5 ঘন্টা সবই তো চুরি করেছো। মানুষকে আমি ভালোবাসি যেমন, জোড়া ফুলটাতেই তো আমরা দাঁড়াই। তা জোড়া ফুলটা যদি রক্ষা না হয়, পার্টিটাই যদি রক্ষা না হয়, তো মানুষের জন্য লড়াইটা করবো কি করে?
Ravi Prasad, senior leader, BJP MP, joins me live tonight on India Matters. Mr. Prasad, thank you for your time and being with us here on NDTV. My first question to you, sir. You've called this a historic moment where a chief minister has personally dashed into a private person's house to interfere with a raid. We know that the Enforcement Directorate has alleged that Mamata Banerjee personally has taken away some material. According to you, Mr. Prasad, what is Mamata Banerjee attempting to hide?
First of all, historic moment I haven't said. For the first time in the history of independent India, such a shameful conduct and behavior by a sitting chief minister of 14 years, who has been a union minister, knows governance, forcibly goes to a private property, stalls the raid forcibly by the aid of a police commissioner and DGP, and snatches papers. One thing you must remember, the raid did not happen in the office or residence of Mamata ji, nor even in the office of TMC, nor any leader. It was a consulting firm where the raid has taken place in the wake of coal scam and money laundering charges, in which one of the transactions also named them. They have said it publicly in their press statement, and today in the High Court with the petition they have filed for a CBI proceeding against Mamata government because of all this and rescue of paper, they have outlined all these things in detail before the High Court. Now, will a chief minister go and snatch papers? What she was trying to hide? What they are trying to conceal? The suspicious circumstances surrounding her conduct is astounding. They could have gone to the court, High Court or Supreme Court. Mamta ji rushes to court at the drop of her hat. But I will personally snatch papers from a private premises with the aid of my police and install the ED. That is a very, very disturbing element in the body politic of the country. That is shameful. And the country will have to account for it. And I'm sure this shows the utter desperation of Mamata Banerjee. And surely she is going to meet her Waterloo 3 months thereafter. We all know it very well. But no comment by Congress party or anyone else. That is the larger question.
Mr. Prasad, Mamata Banerjee and the Trinamool's defense is that this may have been a private property, this may have been a political consultancy, but they are the agency that have been hired by the Trinamool, and therefore, sensitive documents pertaining to election strategy could have been, taken away. So she has accused the BJP of using the ED to spy on her election tactics in order to apply pressure and squeeze candidates in this election. That's the insinuation, sir.
First of all, there is forum or not. They could have said the same thing in the court, asked for stalling the ID proceedings, no documents be returned. How can a chief minister snatch? And is this the first time it is happening? When Mr. Rajiv Ranjan, the police commissioner, was subject to CBI inquiry in the case of Narda Sharda scam, did she not offer a dharna? You know it very well, for the whole night.
Yeah.
The CBI officers were arrested. The Calcutta High Court had to intervene. In the case of Sandesh Khali, what happened? You know it very well. Ultimately, it became a big movement and the High Court had to intervene and Supreme Court had to intervene and the main sheikh was arrested. What happened in case of KG Kar Medical College rape case? Did she not sought to frustrate the entire investigation in a case of a woman who was victim of a rape? These are only some of the instances, and let me tell you, I have travelled very extensively in Bengal in the case of loot and snatching of ballot papers, in the case of Nagar Panchayat and the Gram Panchayat elections, where people are not allowed to vote. They are not allowed to file nominations paper. How they are scared, how they are beaten. I have seen myself visiting villages. Therefore, let Mamata not talk of democracy. And this only shows her desperation, as I said. But again, I repeat my charge. What was so compelling suspicious circumstances surrounding that Mamata had to personally rush and snatch all those papers? That is something very, very serious. And by the way, ED is investigating and also doing the raid in connection with the money laundering charges, which they have publicly explained. Can you deny that coal smuggling is not there? Can you deny that money laundering charges are not there even in case of high-ups of Trinamool? You all know it very well. But here we are in a particular instance today. And by the way, I forgot to tell you, even the High Court hearing was frustrated today. The judge, under utter desperation, adjourned the case to 14th because all the Trinamool supporter lawyers almost dashed into the court and not allowed the hearing to proceed. These are circumstances, governor being threatened, all these being threatened, BJP leaders are being threatened, no opposition leader is allowed to proceed in the entire state. And coming from Mamata ji, I must repeat, she has fought against the fascism and barbarism of left. Kudos to her. But her own actions surpasses even that. She has mastered that art. That is a matter of great concern, deeply disturbing. Because it shows her desperation. Therefore, this Maha-Jangal Raj is going to end soon when the elections are taken place.
Mr. Prasad, the case will take its own course. The ED process will take its own course. But as a long-time Bengal watcher, and as you said yourself, you've travelled extensively inside Bengal, what is your sense of what Mamata would be trying to hide? Going there and removing documents, as you said, what would she be trying to pull away from the site, sir?
There are many skeletons in the cupboard. Okay? You remember Crores of money were recovered from the house or flat of a minister, including her partner, his partner. Therefore, when the skeletons start coming out, they'll keep on tumbling. But again, the suspicious circumstances why she was compelled to rush herself. That is obviously it will become a big issue in the election. It will become, and let it become. The people of Bengal are frustrated, angry, and fed up with this Mahajangal Raj. Surely they will reply in the elections.
Final question, Mr. Prasad. We saw the the drama that played out in Delhi today with many of the Trinamool MPs protesting. They were dragged away. The very familiar sort of political drama that played out. Do you think in some ways this has handed Mamata an issue to roar about and to accuse the BJP of trying to victimize her? Those are very compelling pictures that were beamed out, sir.
Come on. What compelling picture? You barge into the office of the Home Minister and police will be keeping quiet. Do you suggest that the BJP leader should barge into the office of the Chief Minister in Calcutta? What do you say that? Let them do all the drama which they have done. It is their right. But the serious charge of corruption and the compelling circumstances of reaching there and snatching the paper is a very important political statement. Thank you.
Ravi Prasad, thank you very much for your time tonight on India Matters. Let's go straight to our debate because the BJP says the Trinamool can do whatever drama it wants. It is not going to divert attention away from due process against suspected or alleged corruption by entities in Kolkata that have direct links with the Trinamool. In this particular case, IPAC, which is the political consultancy firm started at one time by Prashant Kishore and now run by a person called Prateek Jain, who is very close to Abhishek Banerjee and who is running the entire political campaign of the Trinamool. Joining me live now tonight on the India Matters debate, Charu Pragya, spokesperson of the BJP, advocate Touseef Khan is a political analyst. He has no links with the Trinamool. I want to make that very, very clear. Charu, the Trinamool's top MP brigade dominated the airwaves almost all day today in a protest that has ended in most of them being dragged away. They have basically declared war by saying the BJP is using the ED once again. They've said this is nothing to do with Mamata's dirt. This is the BJP's dirty tricks department. How would you respond to that?
Shiv, good evening to you. I think anarchy has become the methodology of working for TMC government, and anarchy is only what they show to the people of the state, to the people of this country, time and time again. And every single incident I can recall where law is supposed to take its course, Mamata government has blocked it, absolutely blocked it. For her, it is not about who is right. For her, it is about who is a TMC supporter. That's it. She doesn't care about criminality, and I'll tell you how. Sharda chit fund case, she sat on a dharna to prevent the CBI from doing its work. In fact, the situation became so bad that the CBI had to move the court. After that, you remember Sandesh Khali. Reporters were not even allowed inside. They were beaten up. At that time also, CBI officials were attacked by a mob because they wanted to get hold of a person who ran the land mafia in that region, Sheikh Shah Jahan. And then he was again protected by the TMC government for a prolonged period of time. After that, we remember how she sided again with the authorities, the principal of RG Medical College, not with the victim, not with the people protesting on the streets. And illegal infiltration has been continuing, so much so that under her watch, BSF gets fired upon and she never says a word about it. Murshidabad, but the most recent incident where again the court has observed that the police was entirely at fault. Hindu homes were targeted, they were burnt down. And I think this has become a pattern. This pattern is clear and visible for everyone. Mamata Banerjee will go to any extent, cause anarchy, because she needs to protect her seat of power. And the seat of power is going to go away really soon, I assure you of that.
Okay.
Tell me, just because somebody is linked to a political party, thousands of crores of Hawala transaction should be ignored. Is that what she's saying? Because a PMLA search was carried out. There are evidences. There are links to Hawala operators. And these links have gone back.
Okay, let's get an opening word from Touseef. The BJP says that the dramatic scenes that we saw outside the Home Minister's office in Delhi today, where Trinamool MPs were dragged away, is a diversion by the Mamata brigade, to create a spectacle and to distract from the fact that there is a real investigation going on. What would you say to that? Opening comments, Touseef.
Shiv, you see, the question really is whether BJP workers will be allowed to hide under the veil of ED uniform. And the Mamata Banerjee has provided an answer that no, she has lifted the veil of ED officers and exposed BJP workers behind it. They say, the ED says that they are pursuing a case
about government
10 years
officials.
old, which is
I'll
10
let him
years
finish. I'll come
old.
back to you.
And they are saying they are pursuing a raid under the FIR which was lodged 6 years ago. They are saying that they are looking for documents and money trails and papers and whatnot. Now, 10 years later, after the alleged scam, 6 years later, after the after the FIR is filed, no, we are not going to buy that. Now, what we know is that 2 months from now, Bengal is going for the voting. Trinamool party has made up their plan. They have strategized how to who to give tickets in this election, how to strategize their election. IPAC is basically a war room of Trinamool. Where can Trinamool allow somebody under the guise of being some officer and steal those documents, steal those strategies, steal those confidential papers of Trinamool party away?
Okay, so
Trinamool or any party in
Can I please come in?
will not allow
So
that.
Touseef basically says the timing is suspect because it's elections coming up. And two, you can't call it a private agency or a private consultancy. It's literally the nerve center and the war room of the Trinamool. So you can't say that Mamata and the Trinamool have nothing to do with this. Charu, respond. And he says that the ED are basically BJP workers.
Shiv, I listed out so many instances of violence and of Mamata government going against authorities only to show you one thing. Federalism does not mean you pick and choose which law you want to follow. It basically means that you work together as a nation to make sure evil is weeded out. Here it's exactly the opposite. And what is Touseef defending? Like I asked you earlier, you're going to ignore a transaction of thousands of crores coming into an office, and this money is proceeds of crime. It comes from an illegal coal smuggling syndicate. That also you don't want to acknowledge. More importantly, the ED has already moved the High Court. The hearing is tomorrow. The ED has not just made these allegations in the media like Mamata Banerjee does. They have done it in writing, and the High Court has allowed this hearing. Can you imagine any other person in this country behaving the way Mamata Banerjee has recently behaved? And she boasted about it in front of the media. She boasted and she said, yes, I barged in. Yes, I walked away with all the documents. Yes, I took all the electronic devices. Isn't this anarchy? And how can anybody support this and still talk about the constitution or democracy in this country? Like I said, you are not above the law. And at the end of the day, people of West Bengal are going to weed you out because whichever way you look at it, you have never stood with what is right. For you, the important thing is you side with the criminals, you side with the illegal hawala transactions.
This is not being played out in public or in the media. The ED has gone to court. They say we'll follow due process. Let it, let everything go in court now. What's the big deal?
Even Trinamool Congress has gone to court. Even Trinamool Congress has filed a counter petition in the High Court, and Trinamool Congress has lodged an FIR against the ED officials. You see, look at the modus operandi of the ED. In the last 12 years, for so many years that Modi government is in power, ED has filed cases against MP, MLAs and political leaders. 95% of them are non-BJP. They are against the Aam Aadmi Party, they are against Samajwadi Party, they are against Congress, they are against Trinamool Congress. And what is the conviction rate? The conviction rate is 2%. What is the motive? The motive is not really to investigate. If they were really serious in pursuing a corruption case, the FIR is filed 6 years ago. Why did they not conduct the raid then? They are saying that we want to raid IPAC. Now, IPAC has been in existence from 2014. Why did ED not raid the IPAC office from 2014?
So it's a question. So the question is on timing then. Charu, the question on timing specifically.
Shiv, that's their answer every time. All the instances of last year, the year before that, in 2002 also, there was an incident. Every single incident I've talked about, you can't link to elections. I have given you a history of 5 years. 5 years of history. So elections have nothing to do with the investigation. Also, when you talk about the High Court, let's remember it's always been the High Court which has stepped in to save the people of West Bengal. It was the High Court which decided that Sheikh Shahjahan needs to be handed over for investigation. It was the High Court which decided after the political violence during last elections, it was the High Court and then the Supreme Court which gave relief to the victims, which gave relief to even a 60-year-old grandmother because the dispensation in TMC, the police under TMC, the administration under TMC will protect the culprit.
Okay.
It will never side with the victim. And I'm very certain even this time when law takes its course, the High Court or the Supreme Court will side with what is right. You cannot be laundering money, throwing it around and then have a CM which boasts of being anarchic.
I want to come to the last round of questions, and I want to put those pictures on air which dominated the airwaves, like I said today, of all the top
So much drama
of the Trinamool. Protesting, then being dragged away by the police after they were outside the Home Minister's office. Due process, the ED, the courts, that's on one side of it, Charu. The other side is, the politics, the messaging, the imagery. And Mamata Banerjee is feasting on the chance and the opportunity. She's relishing the opportunity to take up this issue, play victim, project the BJP as attacking her unfairly. You've given her an issue right before the election.
No, not at all, Shiv. On the contrary, her behavior is going to show her as the person she is to the people of West Bengal. Because is she actually happy about walking into a raid and walking out with all the evidence? Is she happy about setting her MPs to barge into the office of the Home Minister of this country? Are they proud of the kind of demonstration they did in Delhi today, and for what? For what? For protecting a crime. So if you're looking strictly at imagery, just join the dots and she stands exposed.
So the BJP basically says, Touseef, this is not so much tigress or lioness as the Trinamool projects her, but someone who's scared of what they're going to find inside the den. And that it's not at all a power projection, but the public will see Mamata as someone who has something to hide.
Shiv, you see all the allegations that Charu is making now or BJP has been making, it is nothing new. They have used ED in the last election also, in the MP election, in the last 2021 Assembly election as well. And the same result. The result is always the same. They have used ED, they have used CBI, they have used
plus of cash was not found
they have
from
used
the
so many corruption charges they come up with. But the people of Bengal have voted Mamata
You're blaming the ED, right? I am giving you an instance.
And this time also it is going to be safe. Mamata Banerjee is the tigress, and time has proven that. People of Bengal has proven that. For people of Bengal, BJP is an outsider. BJP is a zamindar.
And you are trying to
dictate terms from sitting in Delhi office.
Just answer me this. It's a simple, straight
this
yes
is unfair,
and no.
Charu. You
I don't want to speak over you, Touseef.
You speaking over me.
You're
not letting me speak.
I've got a last minute, Charu.
No answer for this.
Arrogance.
I can hear you clearly.
The
I have 60
arrogance
seconds
that
left.
the whole...
Can I ask a straight question, Shiv?
Ask quickly, 60 seconds.
Simple, straight question. So last time ED raided in West Bengal, Partha Chatterjee's home, are you going to deny 50 crore in cash was found, 5.5 crore in foreign currency was found, and 5 crore worth of gold was found?
Office.
So the ED is doing its job. It's catching you red-handed. It's catching you red-handed. You want all of us to pretend that we are blind?
You are not even claiming that you went to IPAC office to get some kind of cash. No, please. You are not claiming that. You are saying that you came to EC to collect some documents and some hard disks that you are taking away. And those are the documents.
Not my statement. It is what EC has given in writing.
They are the candidate list. They are the research data. All those materials.
As a lawyer, are you not supposed to know that whatever you write and give to the court,
you cannot deprive Trinamool of research data and give so that.
Do you understand, Banerjee?
No.
This is a statement given by ED to the High Court.
This is what I see as a very small trailer of what the main picture is going to be like in Bengal. This is not some great political insight that I'm giving. Everyone knows this is going to be the most fearsomely fought election of 2026. But if the last 48 hours are any indication, it is going to be no holds barred. The scene has shifted momentarily from Kolkata to Delhi. It is going to shift right back. And as NDTV begins its election coverage in Bengal, I can promise you that we will get you all aspects of it. We do not take sides. We only want to watch what happens in this election. Charu, Pragya, Touseef Khan, thank you very much for being with me tonight here on India Matters.